Hello, welcome to my latest YouTube video. Sorry I haven't been around for a while, but you know, life and everything else gets in the way. So what I am going to do for you today is this cute little Easter card. So we're going to do the background and then do the topper in the middle. So we're going to do all that, and then see how we go. If you like what I do, please subscribe and share the video, which is down below. That'd be absolutely brilliant, marvelous, be much appreciated. Now all of these elements on this card, the stamping, the bunny rabbit, are all taken from Paper Craft Society box number 30, which is this one here. I'm not going to go through the contents of the box and what you get, because there's plenty of YouTube videos on that already, so I don't need to do all that. But what I have done already, going ahead of myself, I've actually die cut this rabbit. So I've done that little bit. I'm going to take the stencil out, which you also get in your kit. So we're going to do a little bit of that with it, with the card. I'm going to take this little stencil out as well, which has got some birds and feet and what have you on it. So we might add a little bit of that to the card as well. So, and then we've got over here another stencil, which is the birds, swallows, house martins little stencil there. So we might add a little bit of that to our card as well in the background. But also what we're going to be needing is the stamps that come with the set as well. So we've got all these stamps, and you've got a happy Easter, Easter wishes, but also you've got general happy birthday as well. You've got the hedgehog, you've got some foliage here, there, and you've got a little mole on top of a hill, and of course we're going to use the bunny rabbit to make our topper, and you've got these birds as well. So you've got quite a bit in this kit. So I'm going to wrap this up, put it back in its box, which comes like this, and you get a magazine and bits and pieces. So I'm not going to go through all that, because as I said earlier, there are YouTube videos, and if you go on the Paper Craft Society website, there's videos of what you get, so I don't need to go into all of that. So anyway, let's start with the background. Wherever I've done with my card, I'm going to put the stencils and the stamps just there so I know where they are. So we're going to start with a background, and I have cut a piece of white stamping card 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. I am going to be using a 5 by 5 inch blank card blank, which is there, and there's my stamping card, which, as I said, measures 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. That will go on there. And I've also die cut ahead of time, because I'm sure you don't want me showing you how to die cut things. So all I've done is cut an oval and a green scalloped oval, blank white oval, and from the kit, the Paper Craft Society kit, I have die cut my bunny rabbit, and that will eventually go on top there like that. So okay, so now you know roughly the direction we're going, hopefully. Let's start with our card blank and get my craft sheet, and then I've got my stamps, ink pads here, and I'm going down with the Distress Oxides. So I have got Shabby Shutters, which is a nice little green. I have got Mustard Seed Distressed Oxide, and I have got Spiced Marmalade Distressed Oxide, and I've got my foam pads all laid out ready and waiting for me. So let's start applying some ink, and I'm just going to grab myself a bit of tissue. So there we go, and then here we go. So randomly lay down your colour onto your card, and this is so random, you don't know. You can put it anywhere you want, obviously. I mean, it's your project. Put the colour down where you like it to go, and also obviously you don't have to stick with these colours. You can choose your own colours. You might want to go for blues or purples. I just wanted to go with the oranges and the yellows, because to me it's more spring-like and nice and fresh. I mean, we're coming out of winter, so you know, and spring's here. I've got my daffs and that in the garden, all out in bloom, so that's quite nice. And it's March, so spring is well and truly here. So let's get rid of that one, and then we're just going to apply a little bit of the spiced marmalade, which is a nice deep colour. I think I'm just going to, I think it's enough of that. So I'm just going to take that one off. If I'd thought about it, I could have got some more of these. Let's put a bit more of the yellow, the mustard seed, just to bring it down. And reach it out to the orange and just blend it in nice like that. So don't worry about any blotches. Again, we're going to do some stamping in a minute, so that will all disappear. And I'm just going to go in finally with a bit more of the shabby shutters, just to tidy it up a little bit in the corners and just blend it all. I think that's quite a nice little combination I've done there, even though I say so myself. There we go, that's nice and blended. There we go. So cool, that's quite nice. Now I'm not going to dry this, because if you dry it, it kind of dulls the colour. So I want them kept as vibrant as how I've laid them down. So I'm not going to dry them. I'm just going to leave it like that, and I'm just going to go in on my stamping and start doing my background. So first things first, I'm going to, from this stamp set, I'm going to get the foliage out, this one here, and then I am going to reach for a scrap piece of paper, much used, much loved, and place that just like that. Get rid of that because we don't need that, and then we just get ourselves a little stamping block. And then I am going to get my distressed oxide that I've used one of the colours of. I'm just going to I don't want it, yeah, that'll do. I don't want it too strong, which is why I'm taking a little bit off the well, what I'm trying to say is I'm using the second generation of stamping, so hence why I've got the scrap piece of paper here first. So I don't want anything too overwhelming, too overpowering for my background. So I just want things to be subtle, because obviously the bunny rabbit is going to be the main focus of my project. So I don't want something in the background that's going to detract from that, if you get my drift. So put that back onto there, and put this one back. As you notice, I clean my stamps as I go. It's just something I've got into the habit of doing over the years. So let's go for a little bit of the orange. So this is the spice marmalade again, which is obviously what I used in the background. See, that's quite strong. So I'm just going to wipe that off. And see, I'm not bothered overly if it doesn't stamp properly, because I just want a hint that something's there. I'm not overly concerned how it's going to stamp out at the moment. Bearing in mind, as I said, this is just our background, so we're just building up something that's a bit of interest but not too overpowering. So take that off, clean that off, clean. As you see, I have got into the habit of always cleaning my stamps. I have been caught out so many times. It is unreal. Now I'm just going to reach up here and get my little mini VersaFine ink pads, and I'm just going to think, let's go for Spanish moss for the minute, and then let's see what else we got on this one. So let's go back to this one and see what we've done. Yeah, so I'm just going to ink this up again, but again I'm going to use the second generation, so I'm going to take some stuff and then just, so this is what we've got so far, as you can see. Let me just hold it up to there. So we've done a little bit of stamping up here, we've got a little bit in the middle going on, and you see there's are bits missing from the stamp, but and this one over here, but I'm not too worried about it. It just naturally gives it the distressed look, so it just adds a bit more interest to your project. So I'm just going to ink this up again, stamp it off, and then I'm just going to off the side like that. Oh, that's not too bad. So do that again and just take off the excess, and then I'm just going to on the side like that. Cool, excellent. So we are getting there. So what I'm going to do now, I think that's enough stamping. I think maybe I could get away with some words. So let's put some words in, because script is always good for cards. So I'm just going to turn this over. There's the Easter wishes. So if you want to make a Easter card, then naturally use the appropriate words, in which in this case it's Easter wishes. So I'm going to put that one back, and I'm going to go for let's go for vintage sepia, which is obviously sepia. I'm going to introduce a slightly different colour so we can again blot it off this. So this is what I mean. So by stamping off, I've stamped it once onto my scrap card, and then I've done it again onto my background, and it just gives a subtle message. It's there, but it's not in your face kind of thing, which is what I want, which is what I'm going for. So I'm just going to do that again. I've got a little bit of a gap over here, so we can do something there, bearing in mind we are going to put some stencils in as well from the kit. So I'm quite happy with that. It's quite nice. So I'm going to leave that as it is and put the block away, put my little mini ink pad away, and clean my stamp, give that a bit of a clean, and then dry it, and then I know that is good to go for my next project. So okay, let's put the stamps away because I think we've finished with those now. We have enough of those. So I can put these back in the wallet. Actually, I'll just put them on top, and then I know where they are. They're back in the white box, and that can go back up there. And then those can go back because we won't need those anymore. And then just bring in some of these stencils, and we can have a little play with some of these stencils. So I'm going to need some clean pad. So let me just get a clean pad here. But then I've got and what I might do is if I've got one here, I want to go for a brown. And paper I'm going to need. I'll get that one out. Vintage photo, old paper, and I think I'm going to leave it like that for a minute. So I've just grabbed a few more ink pads. So I've got tea dye, I have got ode paper which I'm going to use in a minute, and I've got vintage photo. So I'm going to go in with a vintage photo, and I'm just going to very lightly, because I don't want this to be too much, so I'm going to take some of this colour off first. If I think I don't, oh, that's not too bad. So and then we can go. Now be careful here, be careful with the stencils, because these little bits, I don't know if you can see them, where they're not joined to the end, like this one here, it can stick up and pull up. I don't know if you can see that, so just be aware of that. It's not going to damage the stencil because I'll do this one. I mean, if anything, go towards. So I've got one. So I've just done that one down the bottom there, and it's fine, it's good, okay? So just be aware of that. And then I'm just going to do another one, and I'm not bothering to re-ink my, and I'm just going to put another one. Just, as you notice, I haven't re-inked, I just kept, and there's plenty on there. See, you don't need to, let's do one in the middle here. So yeah, so I've kept using the same ink. I haven't kept re-inking the pad. and there's plenty on there. See, so there we go. So that's with the stencils. So I'm quite happy with that. So I'm just going to do that. I might get the stamps out again in a minute. So I want to put that one back there. Let's get another. And I'm just going to go in with the tea dye, and this time I'm just going to put in a few of the birds. So put that one more square. There we go. So just a few birds. And again, I just want this to be subtle. I don't want cool. There we go. It really didn't come out. It's probably because it's quite a light colour. Let's do one up here. Cool, excellent. Right, I'm pleased with that. I'm going to leave that. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to go back to the stamp sets again, and I'm just going to get out the birds, because there are some bird stamps. Good job I didn't pack them all away. And they are quite nice. Stencils I'm going to clean later, so but you must do that, that's fine. Right, we have got some bird stamps here. So you've got a little bird here, and you've got a load of birds up here, a flock of birds flying. So they're quite nice. Again, it will just add a bit more interest. So I'm going to go back to the VersaFines and the vintage sepia. Just going to ink that up. And then just stamp it off. There we go. And that will just give us a bit more interest along there. Again, just stamp it off, and then we can put that down there. Now I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to go over the top. So that is staying like that. I'm then again just going to clean my stamps. I might as well just clean my media project out of the way. Clean the stencils. What's the other one I used? Just be careful how you just clean your, and then we get a nice clean bit of tissue, and then we can just clean these off. And then again, as with the stamps, I know they're good to go the next time I want to use them. So clean those off. And that's it. We put the stamps away for the minute because we're still going to need the bunny rabbit. That is now clean. So we can put those back. So we have got one background. So we can put that one back. So here we go. So that's our background done. So we've got a bit of everything going on, but it's not too fussy, it's not too in your face, it's just nice, subtle, and well, your own background that you've done yourself. So there we go. Just clean this off a bit, put that back, put that down there. So what we need to do now is just mount this onto our, again, you can see I've used a scrap piece of card from a previous project that didn't quite work out, so Never waste anything. Keep it, because you never know when when it might come in useful. So double-sided tape along 4 sides of the card, down the 3rd side, and I'm going to show you again a little tip, because I want this to be as square on to my card blank as humanly possible. So so what we do, I'll just get my knife, is we just peel back. If a little bit of the tape just hangs over, just put a shit back on itself and it will be fine. So what I'm doing is lifting apart the tape and folding it outwards like that. Again, just lift the tape and just fold it back like that. And this gives you a little bit of maneuverability, or without actually sticking it down. And again, what you can do as well, if you want to, you can just go along the edge of your card with a darker brown if you want. So Ground Espresso, Vintage Photo, something along those lines, Walnut Stain even, Ground Espresso, something really dark, black soot if you want. And that will just separate the edge to when you lay it down on your card. So I'm just going to open your card up, that'd be better. It's open there, and then you can still move it around without it being stuck down. So once you're happy that you've got it where you want it, and I think I'm happy with that, there we go, and there, and then you just pull the tabs, and then bingo, there you go. So that's part of our card done. So there's our card front already done. So all we need to do now is the other bits. So here we go. Let's do this bit here first. So that can go there. So I've got owed paper, so I'm going to get my blending, and I'm just going to lightly go around the edge, put the bunny dye there, around the edge, again using Distress Oxide, and just lightly around the edge. It doesn't matter if it's a bit splodgy, or I won't worry too much about it. There we go. So we've got our topper now covered in owed paper, so we could put that to one side. We could put the cover back on the ink pad, put that to one side because we won't need that again. Take off that one, and then the next thing we're going to do is stamp our bunny rabbit. So let me just give this a quick clean, so make sure there's no ink on there. Get rid of that, put that away, get rid of these little bits because we don't want those hanging around. And then put these here and get rid of these. Put them up there, out of the way. And that one, we don't need those anymore. Cool, there we go. So we are nearly there. So we bring in our stamping platform. Here we go, and there I have already got in place. It's a, if I can just lift this up, I don't know if you can see it. I've got a little bit of magic tape rolled up into a little sausage and stuck down on my stamping platform. So I'm going to stick this, my bunny die cut, on there. So when I come to position my stamp, I know I haven't got to worry about the paper moving because I know it's going to stay there. So I get my little bunny stamp and just try and match it up with the die as best you can. So as you can see, I rather die cut first, then stamp on top of stamp onto the die cut. Some people prefer to stamp first, then die cut. It's whatever you feel happy with. I prefer this way because I know I can get a bit more reasonably accurate. So I am going to go for the vintage sepia again, being as it's a bunny rabbit. Lightly tap down onto the stamp, give it a good inking, and then over we go, and down it goes. Yeah, the other thing, make sure you've got the clear bit on your stamping platform. And there we have our stamped bunny rabbit. So we could just lift him up, and there he is, nicely stamped. So there you go. So that's that bit done. So we can now give our stamp a quick clean and give it a dry. Put that away because we won't need that. Get the stamping bits, put our stamp away so we don't lose it. And then all we can do now is put all our little elements that we have done together. So here we go. So get the rabbit first, bit of double-sided tape. A little bit down there. A little bit up there. And then we just get our little pokey tool, take that off, take off that little bit, take off that little bit, and then that can go onto our topper in the middle, and then this can now go onto our die cut piece of card, the scalloped edge, the green piece. And again, if you want to, if you feel more comfortable, I've just ordered a load of 3D glue, and I haven't decanted any of it into a syringe yet, so I've got to do that. But if you want to use 3D glue for the next stage, when we put the topper onto the card, you can obviously do that if you so wish. So I'm just going to carefully put this in the middle, so I have got a bit of the scallops going around like that, so I'm quite happy with that. And then we just get some 3D foam pads which I've got here. We just put some of these on again. Actually, have I got some? I know what I'll do. I have got, which will be infinitely quicker than you watching me peeling all that off. We can use the foam tape. So I've got a little bit there, a little bit down the middle, and then bit either side. That should. And a little bit. Right, I'm just gonna just put a little bit up there and a bit down there. Cool, excellent. So we get our card blank in. We have done our topper. So just take off the backing and we do that. Make sure the card is. The other thing is as well, if you want a tent fold card to go that way, well, you just put your topper that way. So yeah, let's do that actually, because it doesn't matter. So there we go. So there we go. So that's the one we have just done. So we have got a tent fold, top fold card. We've done the background with Distress Oxides, add a little bit of stamping, a little bit of stenciling to add a little bit of interest to our background. And then we have done a topper, die cut, the green scalloped edge layer, and we've scalloped and then we die cut an oval and covered that with old paper Distress Oxide, and then we've just die cut our rabbit shape and stamped on top of it. And there we have a good little Easter card. So there you go. And if I bring my original one in, so there we go. Well, I do hope you have enjoyed that and you've liked it. Please subscribe below. That'd be absolutely marvelous. And I hope it won't be too long before I'll be doing another one for you. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.